Let's check it out. So this is CoffeeZilla's channel. Usually it's pretty good at this stuff. So
a dirtbag and said you shouldn't listen to his advice. And apparently it was so hurtful, so damaging that he's now being sued for $75,000 for defamation and emotional distress.
First of all, I know a little bit about this now. Okay. You know, we've tiptoed around the Bitboy thing quite a bit. We've covered quite a bit of stuff though. We've covered how, you know, in the past, how him and pretty much all influencers, I mean the altcoin dailies, all of them. I mean, it's pretty apparent that, you know, if they purchase a little bit of a crypto, then they make a video about it. Then when it pops off, they sell it at the top. This is something that people do. It's all over the crypto space. You know, I even talk about actually how difficult it is not to do that. Or like me knowing, for example, that Caspa is a great example. I know that I mined Caspa when nobody else was mining it. And that when I talk about it, more people are going to mine it and the price is going to go up on it. That's going to happen. Sometimes that is what happens. So I try to be very careful and make sure that I acknowledge that fact when we talk about any new cryptocurrency, especially if they're smaller. I think the time when it gets a little bit sketchy, like today I had a call, for example, with an agent, right? They were talking about getting me ads and stuff like that. And he's like, well, you really need to take coin sponsorships. I was like, I'm not going to take coin sponsorships. He's like, so you wouldn't like do like a BNB payment for advertising for BNB? And I'm like, no, I don't do that. He's like, well, there's a lot of money in that. I'm like, yeah, there is a lot of money in that, but it's sketch. And trying to be clean on all that is very difficult. I've even had, you know, talks with people that have like literally during the bull run were telling me, get your bag while you can get your bag. And I was like, but I want to be here beyond this bag, right? Like I want to be here into the bull run and for the, or, you know, through the bear market and into the next bull run. So, you know, that's kind of like how I see it. And, but it is hard being a crypto influencer. I feel like you can accidentally do things that benefit you and can hurt other people. And, you know, it's one of those things that you try to keep yourself, you know, hold to your own principles and morals, as well as take into consideration the ethical ramifications as well.
Now, I'm obviously covering this lawsuit because I get lawsuit threats a lot, and I always want to know, is it actual defamation or are you just trying to silence criticism? That's what we're finding out today. The lawsuit we're talking about is between Atozy, which is a commentary channel, and
I would say the people that were trying to influence me to get the bag were specifically related to the Bitboy cruise.
Bitboy, a crypto channel. Now, you might have heard of Bitboy before because we've talked about him in a past video called How Much Does It Cost to Promote a Crypto Scam? In it, we talked about the problem of paid crypto reviews and showed how scammy projects can pay influencers to promote them, sometimes secretly, sometimes it's disclosed. Now, it turns out a month before I made that video, a commentary YouTuber, Atozy, made his own video, this time called This YouTuber Scams His Fans, Bitboy Crypto, which is incidentally the video which he's now being sued for. Now, in this video, admittingly, Atozy was a little bit more colorful than I was, and he calls Bitboy a dirtbag influencer.
Dirtbag influencer, but has also been known for being a shady dirtbag. Bitboy and other dirtbag influencers.
Atozy also...
See, I don't like... I don't like attacks without evidence. I like CoffeeZilla because he always has the evidence when he... The reason why I think like you don't have a direct... Well, there's two reasons with CoffeeZilla making the Bitboy video that Bitboy didn't threaten CoffeeZilla. One, CoffeeZilla is much larger than him. So he would have the way to defend himself. And two, I think he didn't make those personal attacks. I'm not a fan of going out there and being like, you know, F Bitboy. I don't think that's going to be beneficial to anyone. Yeah, it's going to get the likes and so on, but I don't think it's beneficial to anyone. So like the way you approach it when you call it out, I think is very important. Just as important as, you know, calling it out in general.
Also says Bitboy can't be trusted with financial advice.
He simply cannot be trusted with financial advice because you don't know if he's trying to enrich you or himself.
Well, I think that's a fair point, and I think that goes across, once again, a lot of influencers within cryptocurrency, though. Like whenever I see a cryptocurrency video, period, or even when I'm making one, sometimes I think about that question. I've actually had that written down on my notes where when I'm going through like a video, I'm saying like, does this enrich myself or the viewer? And that's why I like to focus on knowledge, right? Because the knowledge, if I can, then it should be able to enrich both of us. And that's kind of my goal when I do it. But I think that's an important question to put up. I think as any influencer is to put up for yourself, does this enrich myself or the viewer or both? And I think it can do both. Monetarily, I think is where that gets sketchy though. So I think like if it's monetarily, for example, like what I did with the stuff here recently with Ergo Pad, they offered to pay me. I said, let's make it all a giveaway. And we gave it all away. And actually we have the next giveaway coming up here on the 3rd for the full stake. And, you know, a couple grand worth of stuff. And that's while I'm financially hurting too. But I feel much better morally and from my own base principles in doing that than if I would have like caved and taken the money. You know what I mean?
And to support this point, he uses an example of Bitboy promoting a crypto coin called PAMP in a paid sponsorship.
Definitely don't want to miss this one. I do fair reviews with my team, and I won't promote something that we don't dig deep into, and that's exactly what we did. The way PAMP is designed is great for staking. If you missed out on Tezos or Chainlink, you don't want to miss Pump. I mean PAMP. I'm pumped up to talk about this one.
Yikes. He pitched it as if it was the next best thing, but one look at the current price of PAMP, and it's not hard to see why people are upset, okay? It basically went to zero, and Bitboy himself has deleted that video from his own channel, along with many others. In this CNBC...
Remember when I covered this not too long ago, too? I said Bitboy's deleting videos. Nobody ever threatened to sue me or anything. I think... Yeah, we talked about this on February 16th, right here. Oh, where is it? Somewhere in here. Yeah, right here. This is when it happened. Interesting. If you do look, I'll show you guys where I got the date from here real quick. Back when I still had shaky cam. Glad I fixed that at least. I still want this perspective back though, but we'll talk about that later. All right. So the way I was able to extrapolate the date here is essentially coming into YouTube and see, this is where I saw it. And I was like, oh, what happened here? So January 20th, 183K views. January 22nd, 215. And then the dip is right here, which is the 21st of January. And as you can see, like this doesn't look right at all. 519K views. Basically, you can tell that doesn't look right because if you look over here at the charts, you can see essentially 20 million views, 11 million, 10 million, 12 million, 16 million, 14 million, 13 million, 10 million. And then for this month, 2.5 million. And then they deleted 2 million of those, basically dropping them down to 500,000 for the month. There is a decline, of course, in subscribers as well. So this was back in February, and it was really when like a lot of regulations were coming into play. And, you know, like I talk about it, nobody gets super mad. I mean, obviously I'm a much smaller YouTuber, so a lot of people aren't really too worried about it. Luckily, we're getting away with stuff like that because we aren't the young poppy video, whatever, switch every 5 second kind of style. So we're a little bit different than that. But, you know, we caught this. So, yes, this was happening.
The article, Bitboy himself says he could make up to $100,000 per month in
He was basically what Bitboy had done was make a whole bunch of videos where he pumped a whole bunch of coins. And then in February, he deleted them all.
Promotions alone. And if they fail, he might delete the promotional video from his page. So what exactly is so wrong with what Atozy said that would cause Bitboy to enter, quote, bouts of depression and suffer from severe anxiety? Well, this is where things...
Well, you're going to have severe anxiety if you did something potentially legally wrong, right? And I think this is where like it gets into it like further along down the line, but you know, the thing is like what I've always found is like, yeah, illegal. But anytime I've done anything that I'm uncertain about, like at work, right? Like if I did something, like, cause I mean, I can admit that I have made a lot of mistakes at work, and there's like anxiety around it, right? Like, shoot, I messed that up. I really hope I don't get fired, right? And you get really anxious, right? Or I get anxious around like YouTube, right? Dang, like YouTube views are down. Like, I don't know if this is going to work out. Get super anxious. But anytime like something is going wrong, then you're going to have some anxiety surrounding it. So that totally makes sense, right? I mean, that's not surprising.
Things get a little weird. One of the core arguments of this lawsuit is that Bitboy is this incredible source for crypto knowledge and advice. This is why it's so bad that Atozy has damaged this reputation. The lawsuit describes Bitboy as an industry-leading source of reliable commentary, which, you know, is a bit of an exaggeration. And they say that, quote, can there be a more damaging assertion for someone like Bitboy Crypto, who engages in the business of providing advice and commentary on cryptocurrency investments?
See, I don't know. As an influencer myself, I'm not worried about it. If somebody comes out and says, you know, Son of a Tech is terrible and makes terrible videos, blah, 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 I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to rest on my library of videos that dates back to like 2012 that proves not only my IT experience, but my experience within cryptocurrency. And then if they have a valid point where I've made a mistake or something, I'm going to go dive into that and just learn it. So that's kind of my approach to it, not sue somebody.
And this is where it gets confusing because Bitboy himself says he doesn't give financial advice.
After all, I'm not a financial advisor.
I can't give you financial advice. Of course, it's financial advice.
Not financial advice.
So then,
to be fair, that's one of those legal things that everybody does to protect themselves on YouTube and in crypto space. We do it too. I do it too.
what advice are these lawyers talking about that Bitboy's in the business of? Is it beard trimmings, room decor? It's not exactly clear. But what is clear...
I like that carpet right there. What do you think?
It's not exactly clear. Or it's...
No, go back. Good work, CoffeeZilla's editor. I don't think CoffeeZilla edits himself anymore.
Room decor. It's not exactly clear. But what is clear is that this lawsuit basically says Atozy defamed Bitboy by saying the public should not look to Bitboy for any advice.
I think saying not financial advice primarily makes the user or the viewer aware that you are genuinely not sure, I guess, at the very least, is kind of like where I'm at from there. No, sir.
Advice, but we have Bitboy himself saying the same thing. So which is it? It seems like the lawyers are a bit confused, but that kind of makes sense because occasionally Bitboy himself seems to get confused, because in that video I just showed you about PAMP token, he actually seems to straddle the line between giving advice, but also making sure that he can't be held responsible for giving advice.
Bitboy, you always say do your own research and don't trust anybody in crypto.
Fair enough, voices in my head. Fair enough. But let this be an exception, but of course, do your own research on PAMP.
So wait a second. Should we make an exception for you and trust?
Give me 1 second, guys. Buddy just got home and we'll finish this. Might have to clip this.
Trust your research? Or should we do our own research? Are you a crypto advisor or are you not? Well, guys, this is where I realized that cryptocurrency is so revolutionary, so new, that we need a new theory to describe it. So I'm coining a new quantum theory term that I like to call Schrodinger's advice. Here's how it works. If a crypto influencer describes himself as unfit to give advice, he's being responsible. If you call him unfit to give advice, you're being sued. Now, in all seriousness, I do kind of understand why Bitboy probably feels upset. He probably feels like he's cleaned up his act and that people are still associating him with a few bad calls. In January of 2022, Bitboy said he had a crisis of conscience and stopped doing paid promotions, which, you know, that's great. And I obviously applaud that, but
I applauded that too when he said that, but I did talk about deleting all those videos as well. Well, he was deleting the videos before he said that, I thought, but he's saying he said that back in January.
You need to understand you can't fix a bad reputation by suing your way out of it. You just kind of have to do better and hopefully people will eventually notice. But speaking of trying to sue your way out of it, this all reminds me of another situation Bitboy got himself into. This time, he tried to sue Celsius after everyone lost money, and he was going to sue on behalf of everyone. That is, until he realized he couldn't because he had actually promoted Celsius and profited from that promotion. So he actually was in conflict of interest and couldn't sue. So, oops. I mean, was that financial advice? Should we have done our research on that? It's not so clear. So
I kind of can't wait till this happens to BlockFi and it hits some of the cryptocurrency mining YouTubers. Look, I want to get rid of all the centralized bullshit. Hey, Amigos PC, welcome to the stream. Like, at the end of the day, I just want to get rid of all the centralized shit. Like, obviously, I did one ad for BlockFi, so I would have conflicts of interest, and that's also why I'm laughing at this. I shortly thereafter saw the error of my ways and was like, I better not do this anymore. And then we actually made a video about it, I think, too. But that was a while ago. Anyways, yeah, man, sometimes, like, crypto sketch, you get caught up. People start emailing you. They're like, do this, do that. They sit you down, you talk to them. You're like, okay, well, we'll give it a shot. And then you start digging into it and you're like, man, this doesn't seem like it's a good idea, does it?
So anyways, that's it for now. I just wanted to say that I don't agree with this lawsuit. I think it's frivolous to try to get Atozy to shut up. But either way, don't forget the most important thing. Pamp the stock.
Pamp the stock. So I don't know if that was a catch-up. Like, I had heard there was more going on with this.
The following is a conversation with Brian Armstrong, co-founder.
I love you, Lex, but we're not talking about that today. Pamp it. Yeah, Paul, pamp it. I'm looking. I missed you too, Machinist. It's been a while. And the kids are back in school, sorta. Except all last week, nobody was in school. I don't know. My poor wife taking care of us. I was actually just looking up for the dismissal of that case. Yeah. So Bitboy did say, for people still interested in this, filed today as promised. By and through the undersigned pursuant, hereby dismisses this action without prejudice. I think it should be with prejudice. Hey, we got a gifted sub. Hell yeah. We got a long ways to go before we hit that back up to that 200 subs goal, all right, which has been our max. But that's I mean, we have a really good crew here. Dang, 47 concurrent viewers too. It'll be pretty cool once we hit something like 75 concurrent viewers and we get to apply for partnership on Twitch. That'd be amazing. Thanks everybody for all the support. I think maybe we might actually be able to do that. That's been a dream of mine for quite some time. I'm not going to lie. 3 months in a row from D. Hercules. Thank you, good sir. And we have another gifted sub from D. Castillo. Thank you, good sir. The new Caspa Stratum is good stuff. I need to go download it. Yeah, it's really cool what we're able to do with the community. I'm hoping we can do more with the community, especially right now in the bear market. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And they backed up. I think where he probably didn't want to get into was discovery, because he would have been able to pull this public discovery on him. And then all of those payments that he got for pumping all of those coins would have had to be released to the public. In fact, that's probably like a pretty good way to expose somebody, is to get them to sue you and then get discovery. That would have been next level strategy. I think maybe Atozy or whatever wouldn't have known about that, but I did see that like Crypto Cobain had donated like $100,000 to his defense. So, you know, it was going to be pretty hard for, once there was money coming in to help out for lawyers and stuff, I think it was going to be pretty hard for Bitboy to fight this one out. Also, he would have been deposed, so if he said he did not take any money and then it's on the books, he's toast for just a lie under oath. Yeah. And there's lots of reasons why this was just a bad idea for him to even do it in the first place, right? Armstrong still got something out of it. Tubers are going to think twice before they use very strong language against him in the future. That's an interesting case, or an interesting thought. Are they, or are they just going to see that he backs down and is going to go ahead and they're going to go for it, right? I mean, that's what AVAX has been accused of doing, serial lawsuits to its competitors to gain discovery knowledge. That's crazy, man. So the next thing that